What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Ollie Reviews, and today we're gonna go ahead and hop into Avatar Aang, the last Airbender movie that came out in late July of 2026. Now, this movie is freaking phenomenal. I'm gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the in-between. And we start off with the good. This movie is phenomenal. It's a great movie. Animation style is great. Action pieces are great in this movie. Pretty much it's like if Avatar the Last Airbender made a Dragon Ball Z movie. And I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z from like before Toriyama hopped on it. Those movies like Broly and Cooler and the planet, or was it the Tree of Despair, Tree of Might movie. Like all those Dragon Ball Z movies in the 90s, the early 2000s, where they didn't have an actual story behind it. Like this one does have a story, and it's more akin to Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, where you kind of get a story first before you get into like the action sequence that the rest of the movie is in. But it really is like it's the beginning of the movie. You have the middle piece of trying to find the MacGuffin thing. Once you find it, it is full-fledged brawl out fight between Team Avatar and the main villain of the series of this movie, which is Bautista, the wrestler, the animal, Dave Bautista. Yes, I'm talking about the guy that's also in Guardians of the Galaxy, like that Dave Bautista. And I'm forgetting the Guardians of the Galaxy name right now. I don't know why I forgot his name, the character he plays in Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's neither here or there. This is the Avatar the Last Airbender review, not a Guardians of the Galaxy review. But yes, Drax the Destroyer, that's what he plays as. Or I think just Drax. I don't even think the Destroyer belongs to Drax's name anymore. But yes, Drax, that guy. Why Gamora, that guy. And it sounds just like Bautista, the guy who plays the Taga, which is the villain that Bautista plays. Oh, just gave a spoiler away. Oh, by the way, this is a spoiler review if you have not seen it. And by the way, Taga is in the trailer, so this is not really that big of a spoiler. But if you have not, and also we'll talk about it, it was spoiled before it came out on Paramount. But this is a spoiler review, so you have not watched this movie, I say go watch it and then come back to the review. For those who have watched the review, hi there. Let's hang out. All right, so the good things about this, like I said, the animation is great. The villain is actually great. Taga, the villain, he is a great villain. Like I like the design. It reminded me of Zahir from Korra, that character, the Airbender guy who was the rebel who wanted to cause chaos and anarchy. It reminded me of Zahir, but if Zahir was a born Airbender who can just destroy stuff, and his finishing move is a special being cannon from Dragon Ball Z. I'm going to reference Dragon Ball Z a lot in this review because you can tell that B and Brian Konietzko's, the D and K, that they really took a lot of anime inspiration, especially from the fight sequences in this movie. And well, I mean, the movie looks amazing. Speaking of anime inspiration, you ever seen the movie Your Name? Go look at Your Name. It's a great movie. But go look at the animation style of that movie, and some of the set pieces in this movie looks like it can come from that movie. It was that beautifully done. The art in this movie was great. The styles and designs was phenomenal. It looked amazing. It should have been released in theaters. It's a shame that it was not released in theaters. That's how amazing this artwork looks in this movie. Like, it is worth it. But then the other best part about this movie, to me, is seeing the cast and crew all together again, from Zakka to Aang to Katara to Toph, Zuko, like all of them, seeing them together, seeing them hang out, and this is 13 years later from the events of The Last Airbender, so they're all in their 20s, and I mean, it was great seeing the cast together, and it was great seeing the older versions of them and the things they can do. One of the best sequences of this movie to me is the fight sequence between Avatar, not Avatar Aang, but between Teen Avatar and Taga, where like Toph is throwing Zakka at Taga when he's trying to fight and he's dodging them, and like they're playing off each other and using each other's techniques to try to take down this villain, and he ultimately gets the upper hand on them and end up winning this fight. But just a cool idea to see like they're actually playing off each other, not just, you know, one-on-one. Oh, I go in, you get knocked down, I go in, you get knocked down. No, they're legit jumping this guy, and he is like throwing them all off. For eventually he had to use special beam cannon air version to take them out. But that was a cool moment. The action pieces, I talked about this already, it's a cool moment. There's certain scenes that reminds me of Dragon Ball Z and reminds me of the Hadouken from Street Fighter. Like, it's really good action pieces, really good character design, really good animation. Like, that is the best thing of this movie. It's great, fantastic. The music is okay. It's not like anything super memorable, but things that you're listening to the music score of the movie, you're like, it works for me, it does great. And the story, for the most part, is done really well. You've seen this story before. Nothing's new about this. It's pretty much what happens in this movie is that Aang is still dealing with the trauma of him abandoning the air nomads when he was younger. He keeps hallucinating about it, and he was like, I want to restore my people, I want to restore my heritage and bring back the air nomads. That is my goal, because I feel like I let the world down when I went away and they had a fend for themselves against the Fire Nation. He feels like the weight of his reviving his culture, reviving his people is on his shoulder. And when he goes back to the Northern Air Temple, or one of the air temples, and he has a relic of Avatar Sonam, a new avatar that we haven't know about. He has a relic of this avatar, and then he gets jumped by this group called the Denied. They're a bunch of non-benders, and they want to pretty much take back the power, and so that non-benders have suffered too long, and we need to have this opportunity to make a come up. So they jump Aang, which is crazy. They're jumping the Avatar. And my thought process is in this, which cool fight scene, but my thought process in this is, why is everybody jumping the Avatar? Why did nobody have fear of the Avatar? This man took down King Ozai, the Fire Lord, and we are just sitting here trying to jump him. Granted, he took him down 13 years ago, so maybe he's not as strong. Maybe he hasn't been keeping up. Maybe he's become like Gohan in Dragon Ball Z. After Teen Gohan, who had the great moment against Cell, maybe he goes to college Gohan and he becomes Great Saiyan Man. I don't know. Maybe they think he's weak. But thing is, that Gohan is not weak, and this Avatar Aang is not weak. So why are we jumping the Avatar? Also, I get, because you need tension, you need to have something build up, so you don't want him to just go right into the Avatar state and squash people left and right. But I felt like he struggled when he finally did go into the Avatar state. He was struggling to hold up this building. Once again, I get it, it's a giant feat, amazing. He's using Airbender to hold it up. But why he didn't use Avatar state against the Denied, who are jumping him? You'll think he'll go into Avatar state to fight back, but he didn't. They take the relic and then they go try to go find Sonam. He sees this, he's like, okay, so the Denied are actually a threat. Oh, okay. So you go back to Republic City, who within the first year setting up everything. Qatar is like the release of the capital and the world building that everybody works in, kind of like the world United Nations, kind of like that building, council building. And Aang's like, hey, Katara, how you doing? I got jumped. We need to go find Avatar Sonam and figure out what's going on here. So before he goes look for her though, he goes into the Avatar state, or goes into like a meditation state and talks to a bunch of other avatars, and eventually learned that, oh, Sonam's staff is what was used to with great power, great spiritual power, and it's been locked away. We don't know where Sonam's at, but she's the lost avatar. Okay, he's like, cool, that's nice to know. I'm gonna go find her. And the avatar, the earthbender, who told him like, hey, you know, I'm more of a scholar kind of dude, look, check this mountain out. That's what the last place that the rumors said that she's buried her staff. And he's like, bet. Goes to this place and finds Taga in there in a frozen ball, kind of like reminiscence of him when he first was found by Katara and Zakka. Mind you, while he's going to go do this, he took Katara to get the rest of the gang together. So go get Zuko, go get Toph, go get Zakka, which they all had their cool moment. Toph is training And by the way, the voice actress is not the same girl from the cartoon. It's a new person, but great voice acting, sounding like an older version of Toph. And then also the guy that plays Invincible, and I'm forgetting his name right now. It's not Simu Liu. Not Chow. Yo, what is his name? His face is there, and I just completely lost his name. He plays Invincible. Steven Yeun. I completely messed his name up. Can't remember his name, but he's Invincible. He plays Invincible, and he's playing Zuko, which he sounds not like Dante Bosco, but you know, he's doing his good impersonation of Zuko, or doing a good voice acting for Zuko, so I have no gripes about that. And the guy that plays Sokka, who is Roman Zaragoza, who by the way is doing a great Sokka voice, and he sounds like an older version of Sokka. They all have their own events, and Sokka has some very good JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style art when he say reminisce about the things he did, and when how he helped to take down a Fire Nation Armada and all these things to these little kids. He's doing like this great rendition of what he thinks like it looks like, and you know, it's a nice little treat. But cool seeing them all get together, and they all go out and help Aang. Now, Aang finds Togga, who is Dave Bautista, the animal. Bautista, he walks alone. The wrestling fans out there, but he finds him, cracks him open, and he's like, oh, who is this? Maybe he think like this is Avatar Sonam. No, it's not Avatar Sonam. It's the villain of the story. It is Togga. So Togga shows that he's a really powerful airbender as well. When Aang was having trouble trying to get him out the mountains collapse and the mountain almost falls over them. Togga helps Aang push the mountain back, and then Togga joins Team Avatar. Mind you, when he wakes up, he's about to snap and go off on Toph, because he's like, Earthbender, kill her. And they're like, yo, bro, chill. Ladies. Because like, the events that you experienced over centuries ago no longer are the world today. We all live as a peaceful nation, coexisting amongst each other. And we don't have time for drama. We don't do that stuff here. Not here. So they tell him what's going on. He's like, oh, okay. But then he was like, so where's the rest of the airbenders? And Aang's like, well, you're looking at them. Yeah. So he tells Togga about what happened. Togga's like, unbelievable. Well, guess what? We can get Sonam's staff, and we can give who she used that staff to kind of give everybody airbending powers. We can go ahead and use that and, you know, do good in the world. And Aang's like, right on, bro. Let's do this. So they go through this everlasting storm that they had to get past in order to get to Avatar Sonam's spiritual place that she put the staff at, which is the MacGuffin. They go get this, and they had to fight pretty much weather. They're fighting tornadoes, they're fighting the ocean, they're fighting, you know, the storm, which is a cool visual. And the one gripe I have here is Sokka, because Sokka, who, mind you, is a war general. He has helped and lead the Battle of the Black Sun, has done all these things, but here he's acting like a coward, the comic relief. Now I get Sokka is a comic relief character, but he knows how to handle himself in moments of danger, and here he was like freaking out and like losing his mind. He wouldn't lose that kind of mentality after 13 years, unless he just got super soft. But then you watch Avatar Korra, and then Korra, he's more like a astute general, and he's handled himself with like a certain, like, not goofiness. He has a little goofy moments, but he's not like folding in the moment that the ship turns sideways, while Zuko and Toph and Katara are all like holding it together, and like Katara is pretty much parting the sea and fighting a giant tidal wave. Zuko is ready to, like, he's trying to fire up the ship with his fire bending, and Toph is trying to close the ship that's been destroyed. Also, the Night is there. They're fighting Togga and Aang. The Night, they're there for a moment, and then they go away. Like they just hang out because they can't get through the storm. After Team Avatar dispenses them and get to the spiritual area where the graveyard of the sea turtles are at. The lion turtles, not sea turtles, but lion turtles. Once they get there and they see the graveyard of lion turtles and they find Sonam's lock where she puts the staff away, they go find that, and the Denai just sit out and wait. Like, we can't get through the storm, so we're just gonna wait here. No, we know where the staff is at, we can't get there. Keep the Denai in mind, they're just there, but keep that in mind. Taga with Aang, they get there, they find the spot. Taga decides to be like, you know what? I'm about to take everybody out. Cause Katara confronts Taga. You know, Katara doesn't like you. If you betray her one time, do something that she doesn't like, she will confront you. And she confronts Taga, and Taga's like, all right, bet. And just starts throwing hands with Team Avatar. And he takes him out with a special beam cannon that I mentioned earlier, with the special beam cannon technique, and then go find Aang, and Aang's like, wait, what did you do? And he's like, well, we got to preserve the Air Nation, man. We need to create an air armada, an air empire. We got to stop playing around with this, because all these other nations, they're crummy and they're gonna try to kill us. And so we gotta take them out before they take us out, and we need to rebuild our people and dominate the world. And Aang's like, no, we don't do that here. And he's like, too dang bad, we are doing that here. Throw hands, start fighting Aang, gets up on Aang, kills Aang, so Aang's dead. Katara's dead, Sokka's dead, Toph's dead, Zuko's dead. They're dead, they're gone. And Aang goes into the spirit world and he meets Sonam, which really good backstory. Sonam explains, hey, I did use the staff to give people airbending because the Earth Nation was trying to get out of control. We were keeping peace. Everybody, the Earth Nation was keeping peace, and the Earth Kingdom finally rose up and decided to try to dominate. I gave some few people airbending to go out and try to stop them. Taga was one of them, one of my best generals, and he watched the people get killed. He wasn't about that life. He said we need to come back and kill them all. I said no, and then we got into an issue. He got consumed by the staff. I had to put him down and lock him up. I killed myself. I got fatally wounded in the battle. Not killed myself. Got fatally wounded in the battle, and I ended up dying. Yeah. So Aang, what about you? And he's like, well, I just gave him the staff. And she's like, what have you done? Why did you do that to him? Why would you? And Aang's like, what did you do? Why did you let him get this power? And so they're pointing fingers at each other, but then she's like, well, hey, you gotta stop him. And Aang's like, okay, how do I do that? And he gets brought back. Like, he gets brought back to Earth because Katara, because they're in the spiritual world in a sense, thanks to the lion turtles, she healed herself while she was dying, and she was there to bring everybody else back to life. So the whole crew is back to life. They decided to team up again. Well, they had to get out of the spirit world, out of the lion turtle graveyard by going to the spirit world, which they brought back the ocean spirit, who took to the spirit world. They meet Taika Waititi's character, why can't I say Taika's last name? Taika's character, Taika Waititi? Anyway, Taika's character, who's a goofy spirit boar thing, he helps him out get to Taiga's, kind of like he's taking Sonam's palace in a sense from the spirit world with the Denai. He sees the Denai, he gives him airbending ability, and he was like, all right, let's go wreak havoc and let's use Republic City as a landing spot for us to stake our claim in this world and for us to, conquer. And now I'm thinking about this. So they're going to use the Republic City as a place to conquer. Why Republic City? Why did they choose that? It was like Sonam's palace already there, or he just chose that spot and said, forget it, I'm gonna just go ahead and just use this as my base. But anyway, he gets the denied, and give them airbending ability, and they all like, yeah, we got airbending powers. Now we're gonna go ahead and cause havoc. Why? I don't know. There's one girl who, I don't know if you know her name. They keep showing her, and she is kind of there hanging out, and she doesn't want to be like an a person who caused harm. I guess she's been fed lies that Avatar is not a good person, but yet when Aang saved her, she's like, oh my god, this man saved me. Is he really a bad guy? Or are we the bad guys? So she had this whole little conflict within herself. But anyway, she's there. She listens to Katara at the end of the movie and decided to help out at the last moment. But I'm jumping ahead. Team Avatar takes on Togga and the rest of the Nine together, and they all fight each other. It's a really cool fight scene. Pretty much like the last part of this movie is just a giant battle, Dragon Ball Z fight. Aang finally gets a staff from Togga. Togga turns into a giant beast-like monster, fights Aang. Aang gets the staff from him. He turns to like giant blue Avatar Aang, like Spirit Aang, and they're battling each other. And then Aang gets upset, going on the brink, about to try to kill Togga, but he stops and decides to not let the staff take over him and decide to break the staff itself, thus getting rid of everybody's spirit air power and sending the palace back up into the spirit world. And Togga dies because reasons. It doesn't really say why he died. Like, Aang didn't kill him. I guess Togga exerted his powers because he used the staff, because he's a human being and not a like the Avatar. I don't know, because Sonam froze him before in the past, so I don't know why he died. They do have a cool moment where they kind of say like a creed about, like, you know, what happens when the air nomads pass away. They did make it like a creed, like, you know, we go back into dust. We're only here on this planet for a moment. We go back into dust and we go with the wind. Kind of like, it's a really cool moment that Togga and Aang have together.
Air nomads are formed from the mist.
We walk the world for a moment in time. Then we return to the eternal wind.
Before they fade off, before Togga fades off, and then Katara and Aang kiss each other. Zakka has a new like bike kind of thing that he uses that he can shoot water bombs out of. Toph and Zuko, just cool badass fighters. Like, that's pretty much it. That is the gist of the movie. They defeat Togga. Aang. Oh, I guess the one secret that everybody talked about and I never really cared about as an Avatar fan was, how did they find Bison and Air Bison in, you know, Korra? How did they get those Air Bison in there? I thought Appa was the last one. Well, this movie explains why, because at the end of the movie, Sonam tells them, hey, there's a place that's been unprotected for years, or they've been protected for years, has been touched. Go check it out. And with a bunch of other air acolytes go and they find, or air students go and find the resting grounds for bison that have been growing and sleeping together and feeding off the land and just, you know, getting a bigger herd. So they find a herd of bison and they bring them back out of it, so that they're at least airbenders in the world again. The air bison, they're back. And that's how the end of the movie ends. So it kind of leaves something for Korra, which this event happened 57 years before Korra happens. And one thing a lot of people said was, why nobody remembers this event? This isn't like to be a huge thing that Republic City almost got destroyed, but it was 57 years ago. And the issue happened within not even a full day, maybe a few hours, and now it's gone. Aang came in, took care of it, done. It probably gets put into like the list of things Aang done as the years go on, but nobody really cares about it because everybody who has experienced this moment probably is dead, or they are so elderly that it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal anymore. Like, Republic City is standing and much bigger in Avatar Korra. So that's why the city doesn't like really, the events doesn't really matter. It's legitimately like a story just so you can have fun with Team Avatar again as adults. And I am 1000% down with that. The one bad I have with this movie is that it made Zakka like a joke. That's it. I'm cool with everything else. They made Zakka a joke. That's the bad. And I kind of gave you already the in-between. But the in-between outside of the story itself is that this movie didn't get put in theaters. That is a disgrace. This is a great movie that should have been put in theaters. And originally it was supposed to be released in theaters. It could be released in October of 2026. But then they pushed it up to July of 2025 and they released it on Paramount. The movie got leaked, which is a shame, which they didn't, the full movie got leaked and people did watch it. And then they got it taken down and then they finally uploaded on Paramount streaming. But this movie deserved to be in theaters and it's a shame that it did not get put in theaters. It is such a great, phenomenal movie. A movie where you can enjoy your characters that you've seen and grew up with. You're a huge Avatar fan or you want to see what they're like in between. Somebody who never experienced Avatar growing up, this is your first time really get to see the crew, you know, and I wish it could have been released in theaters. It should have been released in theaters and that is the biggest shame of this movie. That didn't get released in theaters. It's great action pieces. The storyline is basic. Like it is basic. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a person who's the only one of their kind finds another one of their kind, and that other person they find is a bad person. And the reason why he's bad is not because he's innately evil, it's because he wants to protect his people and bring back his tribe, bring back his people. But for him to do that, he feel like he had to destroy everybody else, and for whatever reason, if Taka just said you know what, me and you, Aang, we're the only two airbenders and let's work together to build this, I'm gonna trust you that this new world is, you know, different and that these people are not, you know, evil. Okay, I'm cool with that. Let's see what we can do here. It's like if I brought back Attila the Hun. That's probably not a good example. He was a conquered. Alexander the Great. If I brought back Julius Caesar in modern times and brought him to America, he'd probably lose his mind. His brain probably explode and overload. He might just, go crazy. Because what the heck is this? Why is there moving beasts with wheels and making machines? What there's lights on the inside? Why y'all have electricity? What is that? He might lose his mind. And I can see how, Taga will lose his mind because he's like, you tell me this earthbender is hanging out with you, chilling and killing and maxing with no problems, and y'all had no issue with this. These people killed my people. I can see that, and for them to make that a thing. But if you make Taga actually a part of the crew, he'd been a really cool character. He would have been but they didn't. They had to make a villain, so it's the Marvel trope of fighting yourself in a sense, what you could have been if you let rage and hate consume you, because that's what Taga did. He let rage and hate consume him, and Aang pretty much beat it out of him until he died. That's the plot. You've seen this story multiple times. It's told almost every anime, told almost every comic book. Venom, Spider-Man, it's the same thing that's been told multiple times again. I get it's only so many stories you can tell, but the fish out of water or the lost for home, return to home, the Odyssey kind of thing. No, this is not the Odyssey in itself, but the fact that Aang is trying to bring back home to the modern day. That story gets told before, and it's nothing new with that story. The story is not going to shake you. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to remember the story for the next 10 years. No, you probably remember the story for the next 5 months, and then the next movie come out and you forget about the story. It is what it is. It's been told before. So with that being said, time for me to go ahead and review this movie. I'm gonna give Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, a solid B+. It gives a B+ for me, and the reason why it gets that 89%, that B+ is because the story. The story is the same story you've seen multiple times. Now, what makes it higher than any other C-level movie was the fact that it's great animation. Great animation, great action pieces, good stuff all around. The story is the one thing to me that kind of brings it down because it's been done before. It has. Other things about this, the in-between as well, is that there's a bunch of member berries in here. You got the Mike Cabbage's character. You got the Avatar fan guy with his son, they're fanboiling out, and then the wife's like, oh my gosh, again guys, you have all the little things from the past that comes back around. Like you have little things like that. Zakka with the wine, his hair down, like when he was trying to like impress Suki, he did the little thing again. Like you have a bunch of bits and pieces that make it like, you remember that from the TV show? You remember the Kyoshi Warriors? You remember this? You remember that? That's there for you. You'll get a little fun out of that. You're a huge Avatar fan. But other than that, it's fun. It's a good movie. I had fun. I enjoyed it. If you've seen Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode of Ali Reviews, and keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. I appreciate that too. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let your friends and family know about this series. Also, you can watch more episodes here and on the Patreon, patreon.com/AliZakka. For $2 a month, you get to watch new episodes of Ali Reviews and Ali Plays before they come out on YouTube. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode, and keep being awesome.